The world of Havern, the cradle of civilization, the origins of the unnamed god, is the largest and most populated planet of the known galaxy. Its existence, once the seat of power across a galaxy-wide empire, stretching from the Orc Federation to past the edges of the Imperial Federation. No greater civilization has held power in the galaxy before or since the dawn of the Golden Empire during the Second Age. The legions of faithful under the unnamed god shook the stars, and their prayers drowned out the heavens. The rulers of the Golden Empire were selected by the unnamed god to rule in his stead. Often elves, due to their longevity, they fought thousands of battles in his name, expanding the borders of the Golden Empire and conquering most of the known worlds of today's galaxy. But with the light of the Golden Empire so bright, its light could not be hidden, and soon reached into the darkest voids of existence, where jealous eyes watched and plotted, with the rise of a demon of unprecedented power, but planned its downfall. The demon's real name is lost in time. It is said he was born into the realm of men to hide his power from the unnamed god. He became a great warlord, conquering many lands outside the Golden Empire, so he may lay them as offerings at the Empress Felina's feet to gain her hand in marriage. While she was wise and fair, she could not penetrate his charm nor resist his power, and she agreed to be his queen. Upon the wedding ceremony, all the kings and generals and priests of the Golden Empire had gathered to celebrate yet another glorious expansion of their god. To have a mighty warlord and his worlds join them created revelry and joy, but the demon had other plans. This was where he unleashed his trap. In an instant, he transformed into his true form, his appearance so hideous it blew apart the castle, devastated hundreds of miles of land, and eviscerated the nobility of the empire in horrific terror. In one vile moment, the demon brought the Golden Empire to its knees. He ordered forth his legions to invade, to pillage and destroy the empire, and the worlds across the galaxy burned so violently their smoke caused the suns to dim, and countless civilizations were driven to extinction. The unnamed god in response opened the heavens, and the last deities of the Golden Empire descended from the throne, backed by a legion of angels and faithful, to wage war upon the damned. Most of the fighting is lost to history, but it is known it culminated into a final confrontation where both the unnamed god and the vile one clashed. Their armies so large, the number of bodies that fell laid 100 feet high, and one could drown in their blood. At the epicenter of carnage that spread for miles, the vile demon and the unnamed god fought, neither gaining the upper hand, and both suffering grievous wounds that caused them to collapse upon the mountains of the dead. The demon was weakened, but his immortal soul could not be destroyed. The unnamed god, in his last action, ripped apart his soul and placed it into 8 orbs of power, prisons that were to be stashed across the world. And then, with a promise that one day he would return, the unnamed god died. But fate was cruel, and evil not finished. They poured forth into the dream realm in an act of vengeance, battling the great Scion guardians of the dimension of the mind, and killed them all in a single day. With the dream realm undefended, and no god to stop them, the demons drove the faithful mad in an era known as the Great Insanity. Libraries burned, churches fell, and it said 1 million priests died that day. The name of God was lost, and all records of the Second and early Third Age destroyed, but their main purpose was to hide the name of the vile demon, to make him just a legend, a whisper in the dark, so no one would be ready for his return. The minions of darkness hunted the remaining faithful across the worlds, nearly wiping them out, save a small band who hid the bloodlines of the Empire across the worlds, hoping one day the unnamed god would return and restore the Empire to its glory. But as it is now, the Golden Empire crumbled, and the world of Havern shattered into many warring states, with the knowledge of their glorious past all but gone. They broke up into 9 campaign zones who eventually too lost contact with each other, as great magics and beasts took over the land. These are the regions of Limanak, Arthan, Lithros, Taiju, Kradith, Earlthed, Mordedis, Gul'dan, and Rygal. Shattered remains of the Empire stretch across the world in the current late Third Age, the past bare to see, but its origins forgotten. Each region fights to cling to its existence, as badness, chaos, and the hordes of darkness threaten to devour the cradle of civilization. Can you survive on this world, or be yet another victim of its horrors? For more information on Havern, please refer to the tomes of the Second Age, held by the Master Librarian of Exemplia.